What if I told you that there's a link between successful traders and a renowned psychology experiment involving candy and children? Dr. Walter Mischel, a trailblazer in psychology, designed a deceptively simple experiment in the late 1960s to study self-control in children. Although not a perfect study, which I'll explain later, little did he know that its findings would revolutionize the way psychologists understand self-control. Make sure you wait to the end to hear the 3 keys of how you can build self-control into your trade in psychology. But first, let's discuss the famous experiment itself, and if you learn anything from this video, please give it a like. The experiment. Imagine being a 4-year-old, living in sunny California, and being told by your parent, who was a student or teacher at the prestigious Stanford University, that you, along with 31 other 3 to 5-year-olds, have been selected to partake in a new psychology experiment. Upon being invited to the surprise room within the Stanford University Bing Nursery, you were met by an experimenter who explained the instructions of the upcoming strange activities to you. They played some games with you to build rapport and trust, then proceeded to bring out some of your favorite treats, either marshmallows, biscuits, or pretzels, and put one on a plate in front of you whilst you sit by a table. The experimenter would go on to deliver the most challenging dilemma you have ever faced in the 4 years of your existence. And this is that you're going to leave the room and you are allowed to eat your chosen treat now, or if you can wait 15 minutes upon their return, they will give you another one, so you will have 2 later. In a few moments, I'll reveal what these children's decision to delay or satisfy their gratification meant for their future lives. But before that, what would you have done? The answer to that question reveals a fundamental truth, that those who can delay gratification demonstrate the crucial trait of self-discipline, something that the world's best traders have learnt to cultivate. Have you ever wondered why you plan trades you do not take, or take trades you do not plan? Why you risk way beyond your daily risk amount? Why you get excited to trade that high impact news announcement, even though you know you shouldn't? I hope by now you understand that the explanations to those questions have more to do with your neuroscience rather than new strategies. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you a clip from Canadian clinical psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson breaking down the significance of the Marshmallow Test on one's mind. Understanding the neuroscience of delayed gratification. The word gratification comes from the Latin and essentially means favor or pleasure. Therefore, to delay it is to forego something that our brains deem as pleasurable. In the case of the Marshmallow Test, doing so makes logical sense. But in practice, it was an internal battle that many of those children faced. Not much different from the battles you face to varying degrees to ensure you remain self-disciplined when trading. Dr. Walter Mischel separates the mind into 2 closely interacting systems. One hot, which is emotional, reflexive, unconscious, and the other cool, which is cognitive, reflective, slower, and effortful. The ways in which these 2 systems interact in the face of strong temptations underlie how preschoolers deal with marshmallows and how willpower works or doesn't. The hot system is how Dr. Walter Mischel describes your limbic system. The limbic system is a neural network comprising of several parts that regulates fundamental emotions for survival, from fear to hunger to sex. The amygdala is an important part of this system that helps to process emotions and can cause the body to react quickly in threatening or rewarding situations. Have you ever seen red in the market? I'm not talking simply about a loss or a bearish candle, but instead when your brain has completely been covered in a fog of frustration, and even though you know deep down you shouldn't revenge trade, guess what? You still do. Well, I know I have, and that impulse to trade is your limbic system in action. It's an extremely powerful force if left unmanaged, hence the need for the complementary cold system. The cold system is how Dr. Walter Mischel describes your prefrontal cortex. Amongst other things, the prefrontal cortex regulates our thoughts and emotions, helps us to set goals, and make future-based decisions. It's the part of our brain that would allow us to conclude that waiting for 15 minutes for a 100% return on confectionery investment is worthwhile, or missing a trade you feel is going to be profitable is wise if your trading plan does not confirm it, as in the long run, taking trades that are solely part of your trading plan will lead to improved self-discipline and sustained profits later. Here's a short clip from Jordan Peterson describing the interconnectedness of these two systems.
And so then the experimenter leaves, and some children grab the marshmallow and just, chomp that thing down right now. Other kids, they videotape kids while they're waiting, and they do all sorts of things. They whistle, they look at the ceiling, they sit on their hands, they try to distract themselves. Of course, they're eyeing that marshmallow like a squirrel eyeing a nut, and trying to restrain themselves. And what I see in that is that the child's prefrontal cortex, the higher cortical systems, are warring with the underlying motivational systems, more primordial motivational systems that govern such things as hunger. And the hunger system, the hypothalamic system, says there's something sweet and fat right sitting there, right bloody now. Grab that thing and stuff it down now. And I'm sure many of you have a constant battle with your hypothalamus with regards to sweet and fat things, and often lose, so you can feel some sympathy for the child.
Jordan Peterson really highlights this tense dynamic, further explained due to the inverse relationship that studies have found in brain activity in these two brain regions. This means when our limbic system or hot system is active, our prefrontal cortex or cold system is less active. And when our prefrontal cortex or cold system is active, our limbic or hot system is less active. Or put simply, when you're acting emotional, you're not thinking rationally. The experiment outcomes and what it means for traders. Remember the children teased with the choice of eating one marshmallow now or waiting 15 minutes to eat two later? The psychologists who ran the experiment tracked the lives of these children some 10 to 20 years later, and they found the longer children delayed gratification by refraining from eating a marshmallow, the greater the likelihood they had higher SAT scores, fewer behavioral issues, and lower chances of obesity. Overall, general success. It's worth noting that the female participants in this experiment found it easier to delay their gratification as compared to their male counterparts. However, psychologists have criticized the original Marshmallow Test, as the test used a small sample size and its participants were solely from a particular socio-economic class background. If you weren't aware, Stanford is one of the most elite psychology universities in the world, located in one of America's wealthiest states, so the sample was not representative of other class groups. The alternative hypothesis proposed by academics is that it is easier for middle to upper class children to delay gratification, as they are used to an abundance of resource and opportunities, as opposed to lower class children who often experience scarcity, so are more likely to grab an opportunity that is presented to them in fear that it will be quickly removed. For us traders, self-control is not simply a proxy for success, it literally is the fundamental value for success, as without it, there are an infinite amount of ways for you to lose money in the boundlessness of the financial markets. In markets where trillions of dollars are traded each day, volatility is as common as a Starbucks in a gentrified area, and the opportunity to engage is virtually 24/7. Having the ability to delay gratification is essential, especially for male traders from poorer backgrounds. How the top traders build self-control. Thankfully, self-control is a trait that is not fixed and can be developed. Here are 3 keys that the top traders use to develop their self-control. Number 1, practice delayed gratification. Just like in the Marshmallow Test, where children had to choose between immediate pleasure or a greater reward later, deliberately delaying gratification can strengthen self-control. Start with small tasks, such as delaying checking your phone or indulging in that high calorific snack, and gradually extend the time before giving in. Over time, you will begin to strengthen your prefrontal cortex's ability to preside over your limbic system, which means it will be easier for you to resist impulsive urges, enabling you to stick to your trading plan even when faced with tempting opportunities. Number 2, self-awareness. You can enhance self-control by increasing awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and impulses. The next time you see red or are about to go on tilt, write down how you felt emotionally. What triggered you to feel like that? What were your thoughts and how did your body react? When these patterns re-emerge, you can use them as cues to adjust your behaviors. This is the foundations of self-administered cognitive behavioral therapy. By recognizing and acknowledging your impulses without acting on them immediately, you create space to make more deliberate and rational decisions in your trading activities. This heightened awareness empowers you to stay aligned with your long-term goals and avoid succumbing to short-term temptations. Number 3, utilize reward systems and accountability. Implementing reward systems and accountability mechanisms can incentivize and reinforce self-control behaviors. Set up a reward system where you celebrate small victories or milestones achieved through disciplined trading practices. For example, if you break a trading rule, you don't watch your favorite show, or if you perfectly stick to your trading plan, you get to watch that show. Additionally, try to find a trading buddy or accountability partner who can provide encouragement and accountability. Knowing that you have someone to answer to can motivate you to stay disciplined and resist impulsive actions that deviate from your trading plan. By aligning rewards with desired behaviors and leveraging external support, you create a supportive environment that encourages self-control and ultimately trading success. So, there we have it. Just like the children who resisted the marshmallow went on to achieve greater success in life, traders who exercise restraint amidst market volatility reap the rewards. Patience, discipline, and unwavering resolve are the hallmarks of the elite 4% of traders. And if you're not where you want to be in your trading career, you cannot afford not to build these skills. Make sure you subscribe to our page for weekly videos on trading psychology and let us know in the comments how you would do in your marshmallow test.